until when?
So I got laid off 2021, and then I was there up until last year, and it was again like trying to find work, not able to find work, not running out of money, and I had to make that call, and I had to ask my folks if I could move back in, and it was humbling. I'm grateful I had a place to go. It was also just tough as a proud person, as somebody that's, I'm like, I'm in my late 30s, I'm a man, I'm a black man, just this pride and everything, and it's like the Tim the Tool man, like you feel like it's like, I should be able to handle this, but it's like it's life and it happens. People get laid off, people lose jobs, people like it happens. It's like we run into rough situations and we rally around each other, and so. I'm in a much better spot with it now, but because it'll be a year next month from as far as moving back. But I really struggled with it initially because I was taking it hard. I was feeling like I should have been able to support myself. I was feeling like I should have been able to figure it out. I was feeling like I should have had enough money saved and multiple streams and just all this stuff. And it was just like, hey man, you ain't asked for it. It happened. Life happens. These things happen. Yeah. And it's just you just gotta roll with it, and so
weather the storm.
Yep, Malcolm Jenkins, weather the storm.
Weather the storm.
Yep, and so I got back in therapy. I got back in on medication as far as dealing with my depression and everything, and that's been helpful. And I've been just reconnecting with friends and family, getting a chance to just do the regular stuff, getting a chance to go grocery shopping with my people, or go on a run for errands, or meet up with my god sisters and have dinner with them, or my boys, his parents have an art exhibit open and going to that, or I missed a lot of birthdays, being able to go to birthdays, and now that my friends have children, they might be their kids' birthdays and stuff like that, and just being able to have those those milestones and those real moments, and just a regular hey man, let's go get lunch on a Thursday, and it's
because you were in New Jersey,
you
missed everything, all your Michigan ties,
and I didn't get home a ton either, holiday maybe once or twice, but not a whole lot, and so it's just man, so even. And just being thankful and being hey, I'm able to have these moments. I'm able to, just reconnect with my folks and have those experiences. I got a chance to go see Sam J with my mama down at the House of Comedy, and we had a ball. Sam J had us dying laughing, and she about to drop a new special and everything. And I mean, if it was anything like we saw, it's gonna be the one. And just having moments like that, being able to sit and talk with my pops and everything, and just it's been. I'm grateful. I'm really grateful.
So you mentioned depression, and when you were working with NFL Films, and up until now. Yeah. What? When did that start?
So I think it's been at least 10 years, and I think a big part of it was isolation. I can be very to myself. I have my core group of friends and everything, but I can also withdraw. I can also isolate. And I think there's been studies, there's been all type of articles and everything, books and everything, just in terms of community and how important it is, and how just connecting is just such an essential part of just living. And I didn't do enough of that. I didn't build my relationships. I didn't try to get out and meet. I would go to concerts, I would go to shows, I would go out to eat and stuff, but I wasn't really, and even being a part of the alumni group and stuff, I wasn't doing enough as far as
You talking about fam?
Family alumni. But I wasn't doing enough as far as just building my relationships and having these relationships and friendships to be able to lean on and cultivate and everything. And so I think that was a big part of why I struggled, and I ended up taking leave from my job and got diagnosed and everything, and started therapy. And there's been a couple gaps where I wasn't going, but for 10 years for sure, and it might be up to 12, just being in therapy and just trying to get well and trying to get better and everything. And just knowing too, like it's one of those things. If it's a chemical thing, it's a life thing. It's not something where it has to be, and it's tough. Like you can know that intellectually and understand, but just the struggles of existing in this human, in this plane and this flesh and everything. It's like the human condition, and so it can be a challenge still just dealing with it. And so being able to talk to somebody that's unbiased is big. Being able to, make sure I'm seeing my people and getting out, because that's the thing too. Like when I was really struggling after I got home, it's like, okay, it's summertime, and that which is the perfect time obviously to be out and about. But then it's like summer rolls into fall and winter, and then when it's winter, I definitely don't want to go out, and I can be a homebody anyway. So it's like it compounds, and then it's just like, oh, I'm to myself. I'm not out. It's cold. I don't want to be out and about. I don't want to be communicating. I don't want to be connecting, and it was hard.
So did therapy that must help?
Yeah, big advocate for therapy. Been doing talk therapy for a long time, and I'm a big. It's definitely helped me. It's definitely just giving me just being able to take that, because it's one thing to live it. It's another to be able to bounce it off somebody else, and it's like, oh, after I say it out loud to somebody that doesn't have a lean, one way or the other, it's like, okay, like I'm able to just see it more crystal, and it helps. And so like I'm glad that the conversation is becoming more commonplace. I know a lot of people still talk about that, and I mean, yeah, of course, like it continue to grow. It definitely needs to still be more, like less secrecy or less shame or whatever it is. It could definitely be more mainstream. It could definitely be more, but I mean, the conversation is definitely. I remember growing up and it's just not being a thing really, and I grew up. It wasn't a thing, and I mean, obviously, people have gone.
They think something is wrong with you.
Yeah, it's, and I mean, like even because I grew up in a church, and I felt like, oh, if I can't take it to God, or if I can't talk to Jesus, then like I'm doing something wrong, and I don't think that was like necessarily explicitly said, but that was definitely how I felt. And so for it to be at a point where it's like people are like, oh yeah, like you can have your faith, you can still do therapy, it's like, yo, you can multi-prong it. So it's like, all right, let's do therapy, let's do, meds, let's do these different things and